Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call! Bueller.
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller.
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You're mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimblett to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Welcome to Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Pete.
And I'm Tyler.
And I'm Joseph.
And today on our review episode, we are reviewing a pick from our Patreon list. This week we're reviewing Jack's pick from the Wheel of Destiny, The Stanford Prison Experiment.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. This experiment will be an extension of my research into the effects prisons can have on human behavior. You're going to be pleased to know that you all have been chosen to be the prison guards.
Oh, I'm pleased.
But
pleased
under
as
no
punch.
circumstances whatsoever are you to physically assault the prisoners in any way.
Why not?
Just fuck
Remember,
with their mind. That's it.
Just as you were watching the prisoners, my graduate staff and I will be watching you.
With our pants off.
All right, gentlemen, we're going to have ourselves a lot of fun.
Rule number 1, prisoners must remain silent.
This is an exercise period.
Okay, is it just me, or are these guys taking this thing a bit too seriously? Why don't you give me 20 push-ups?
Look at this guy.
It's supposed to be
He's
taken
John Wayne or
seriously. What do you
something.
think?
You address me as Mr. Correctional Officer.
Yeah, mister.
Myths.
I said.
an interesting 2 weeks after all.
Why don't you make up your bunk, 8612?
I did, Mr. Correctional Officer.
Well,
He does have a foghorn leg. What are you doing?
Oh, damn.
What was that?
You just hit him. You're not supposed to hit him.
Spoilers.
I can't read this.
Let the guards figure it out. Let's see where it goes.
Good evening, gentlemen. How about we make this one a night to remember?
How's our stream health?
They won't let you go.
Stream health is
They won't let us
fantastic.
leave.
Okay, good. And it works.
Those are not prisoners. Those are not subjects. Those are boys, and you are harming them.
Wow, it's weird. The trailer is showing the words in reverse.
Yeah.
Some sort of mind trick.
It's like an experiment.
Dodge some this.
Turn out this way.
Oh my god.
Stanford Prison Experiment. Yeah, this is an interesting movie. Kind of touted like in that bit right there. It's made it feel like it was a horror movie.
Yeah.
Well, definitely like a thriller.
Yeah, just the sound of everything. But this is a movie from Jack Fitzpatrick, who is a Patreon member, loyal to the show, friend of the show, our delegate to the League of Nations to Australia. Mm-hmm. He's in the chat right now. Hi, Jack. He says, "Yeah,
Hey, Jack.
my movie,
Yeah, it is.
my movie." This is a very Jack pick because
Yeah, you would like this movie.
you son of a bitch, you sick bastard. So yeah, this movie is it's basically about it's a dramatization of a real life experiment in 1971 when 24 college students, all male, selected to go on a randomly assigned roles of a mock prisoner and guard situation situated in the basement of the Stanford Psychology Building. This is directed by Kyle Patrick Alvarez. It's from 2015. It's written by Tim Talbot and Philip Zimbardo. And Zimbardo, I believe, is the proprietor of the original experiment.
He's Billy Crudup in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. This is starring a murderer's row of people that got famous after this. Ezra Miller, Ty Sheridan, Billy Crudup. We just skyrocketed after this movie. Olivia Thirlby, Michael Angarano, Moises Arias, Nicholas Braun, Keir Gilchrist, Ki Hong Lee, Thomas Mann, Logan Miller, Johnny Simmons, James Woke, and Nelson Ellis, who played, what is his character's name from True Blood? He's
I
like,
don't know.
yeah.
Oh, Lafayette.
Lafayette, that's it. Yeah, I loved his name. So, so this is a dramatization of real life events and
a thrillerization.
What's that?
Thrillerization.
Thrillerization. So Jack had a couple of things to say about this, which I'll read actually after we do our initial thoughts. I don't think that's appropriate for this.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So first time watches for you guys?
Yep.
Yes.
I've seen this a long time ago, and I'll talk about
Long time ago?
Yeah, it must have been right after it came out, because it's been a number of years, and this is only 9 years ago or something like that now.
Only 9 years ago.
Yeah, Ezra Miller.
I'm
Look where
afraid
he's
it's
at
been
now.
9 years.
Look where Ezra Miller is now.
That's right.
Who knows? They're missing.
Yeah, they're missing. They're missing also the 5 runaways that were in their care. So I guess we'll talk about that in a little bit. But Tyler, why don't you give us your initial thoughts for the Stanford prison experiment?
Yeah, so the Stanford prison experiment, I did write a letterboxd review on it, which you can check out on
Tyler reads his own
Here we go.
letterboxd reviews.
There we go.
This is me, myself, and Tyler.
Tyler, follow him, username Tyler Noe, Knowy.
Yeah, it's a play on words on my real legal government last name, Noe. But anyways, that's neither here or there. So I said the problem I have with this, I gave it a 3 stars.
Okay.
Starting off with the problem.
Problem first.
The problem I have with this movie is when I was watching, I kept asking myself, was this a movie that needed to be made? I like true crime stuff, and this, I feel, falls under that category because of what happened was criminal. I know there is a lot of controversy regarding this quote-unquote experiment, and I didn't do really any research about the specifics. All I know is that it was a bunch of affluent white Stanford college-age students role-playing. However, I did think that the acting was very well done. Despite the horrible costume design, I was into it. I think it was a good thought exercise about the idea of this quote-unquote experiment. But afterwards, I had this gnawing idea, quote, should this have been made, unquote. But disregarding the subject matter, the movie was just okay. Michael and
Angarano.
Angarano. Okay. I didn't know how to say his last name. Angarano was the best actor in this movie. B-, end of report. So, I mean,
B- 3 stars.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
It's like I said in the review, it's a good thought exercise about like the pull and push of I don't know how you would say it.
Authority?
Yes, thank you. I don't know why I couldn't think of that word.
Got it. Okay.
And so it got me thinking for sure. But I think that this was such a small blip in the in our like modern history that I don't think it should have been dramatized, or it wasn't told, the story wasn't told in a way that was super compelling. Like, it was more so about the performances that made the movie watchable. I think that this would more be suited for a documentary.
Oh, there's documentaries about it too.
Yes, I assume so. I assumed that. And that's what I said. Like, I didn't do any like further research into it. Like, I had known about the Stanford experiment for a long time, and I've known about this movie. I just never checked it out because I thought to myself, I already knew what was going to happen, like what it was going to be. So did
it match what your expectations were?
So it's interesting that you say that, because my expectation was the Facebook movie. I was thinking to myself,
the Facebook, like the social network?
Social network?
Yeah, the social network. I was trying to do a joke on it, but
oh, nailed it.
The Facebook movie. You remember?
Yeah. Drop the. So
it's
just Facebook movie.
So
Facebook.
I was
thinking,
but I was thinking along the lines of the Social Network, in which when that movie first came out, I was thinking to myself, Facebook like just came out like a few years ago. Like, how could you make a movie about this? Mm-hmm. How could you make a movie about this? And then the movie came out, and it's a masterpiece. It's great. I mean, I think it won like Academy Awards. So with the Stanford experiment, I thought to myself, I went into that expectation, like that level of like filmmaking, and I don't say I wasn't disappointed. You know what? I was a little disappointed, actually. I was about to say I wasn't disappointed, but you know what? I kind of was, because I think there was a lot of room to explore like the psychological torture that these people had to go through. But overall, like, it wasn't a bad movie. I wouldn't say like don't watch this. However, there was some room for improvement. So yeah, that's why I gave it 3 stars, B-. Like it was just good.
Jack is in the chat and he's very sad. He sent a sad face emoji and he said, "I thought this was going to be a very Tyler pick. Damn."
No, I mean, no, I'm not.
Dude, I would be up your alley.
Yeah.
It was up my alley. Like, I like the subject matter is very intriguing.
3 stars is still a good rating, Jack.
Yeah, like I'm not disparaging the movie in any sort of way. It just
could have been better.
I feel like with the subject matter, it could have been a little bit more workshopped. But I mean, like what carried this movie was the performance. Like the performances. Like you really it really gets you in, at least for myself, because like I have like a very distaste for authority. And
yeah, you look like your current state. You look like you could be in that experiment.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Like you currently look like you fit the 70s look right now of a Stanford student.
Yeah, the facial hair, thick facial hair,
the glasses,
long hair,
the thick brim glasses.
I don't know if that is like an insult to me or not.
It's neither.
Neither a compliment nor an insult.
Neither.
It's just an
observation,
stated fact.
Okay.
How do you think you would thrive in that situation?
We'll get to that later.
Okay.
I
already knew that was gonna happen. But anyways, yeah. No, I thought it lulled a little bit in some parts, but overall, it was
decent.
It was
decent.
It was decent. It was a decent movie.
Yeah. All right. That's fair. All right, Joseph, you're up.
Okay. I thought it was very thrilling. I was very engaged for the most part. It felt like a Lord of the Flies, but like a contained situation, not like a survival situation where anything goes. It was frustrating at times because the whole time I was just waiting for one of the prisoners to just
pop someone, just
waiting for it. Because like you feel the anger and the frustration building inside them.
Yeah.
Or some of them, not all of them. I was just waiting. I mean, Ezra Miller, 8612 kind of does it a little bit. And I'm like, yes, the rebellion.
Yeah.
It's happening. I don't like you.
Guard.
And, but I was like, I was kind of let down by that fact that just for my own satisfaction, that didn't happen.
They didn't get their comeuppance.
Yeah. There was moments of rebellion, like the barricading, and the new guy who wouldn't eat the sausages.
Yeah, I like that.
Like the very like hunger strike, like a mini hunger strike, because he saw the shit bucket, and looked at the sausages. That was good.
I can't believe they had the real shit bucket full of shit.
Yeah,
gnarly.
There was a part of me that felt like I feel like the students who are the prisoners are the only ones getting the experiment done on them.
That's the point. That's kind of what they were saying too. We're making the same pay, and we're the ones getting the shit kicked out of us.
Yeah.
But then
we should be getting paid more.
And they're getting $15 for the whole experience.
Yeah,
$15. I guess it goes a long way for a college student in the 70s.
It does. Apparently for the whole summer.
But then taking a step further back and looking at it like the professors are, looking at the guards and the prisoners, it was interesting to think about like, well, these students who are playing the guards are now being given this amount of power, and you're seeing sort of a version of them, like of somebody, like if someone was given power, what would they do? If they were given authority, what would they do it? Would they do it with impunity, like a lot of them did, or that they showed, or would they just like not? They would kind of refuse to do that to somebody.
Yeah.
And even like the end credits when they show like the recreation of the interviews, I guess, when they have like the one-on-ones. He's like, "You're a nice guy. You're a nice guy."
And he's like, you don't know that. Or maybe I'm not a nice guy.
And then his explanation, Mike Angarano's explanation of like, I just wanted to see what I was doing my own experiment of like how far I could get before, like, I was surprised nobody said anything.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you can't say that.
Yeah. You can't do that. You can't push that guy.
Yeah.
And make them do push-ups.
Yeah. So it was a really, really kind of thought-provoking movie. And it was, I think it was well made. And I think it's a subject matter of a movie that I could see myself rewatching it at some point. And it would be a movie that I would watch like if I was in high school, like if I was a sophomore or junior, and if it was on TV, like I could see myself coming back to this
number of times,
especially like that age, like 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
Because it's like something that is kind of out of left field. It's not like in the mainstream. It's like, could feel like you're a little hipster, maybe a little indie.
Yeah.
I guess so. I mean, never mind. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But yeah, it was good. It was entertaining. I would say that the performances, or some of the performances, were a little weak. I think Ezra Miller was not super great, or not super consistently good. I felt his voice was really annoying.
He was doing his best Justin Long impression,
but higher pitched. Yeah, and it was like really kind of grating. He's like, "You're a nice guy. You're a nice guy."
I agree with that. I did not like Ezra's performance in this movie. I thought it was just cringe.
And even taking a further step back, Michael Angarano, because I know him most from Gentlemen Broncos, where he's a super awkward teenager.
Yeah.
So like seeing him in a role like this was very jarring.
It's jarring for sure.
Yeah. He's got like the full long facial hair, and he puts on like a high pitched foghorn leghorn type accent.
Yeah.
And goes crazy with the power.
You talking back, boy?
And so it was jarring to see him in that. And at first I was like, this isn't fit. But then like
he makes it work.
It fell in. He fell into it, and then I'm like, well, now he was given that power from the director of this movie. So I was like, is he like that in real life? No. Is he a bad guy? Could he be a bad guy in real life given that much power? No man can have all that power.
I think he's just a good actor.
But yeah, it was engaging and thrilling and entertaining.
Cool.
And, I think the weakest acting part came from the girl.
Yeah, she was fine,
but she's not in it for the most part. So.
Yeah, not really.
And also the sort of like consultant felon. Who came on, and he puts on like when they're doing the parole thing.
Yeah,
that was like
he's intense.
He was intense, even though he's like afterwards. He's like, I just did something that I would never do.
Yeah,
and now I have to leave because
that was a very profound scene.
Yeah, it was.
So yeah, he was good. But yeah, awesome. Overall, pretty good.
Nice.
Liked it.
Good job, Jack. You did it. 1 out of 2 ain't bad.
You were wrong. It's a Joseph movie.
Yeah. Oh shit, son. Okay, cool. So this is my second watch. I remember the first time I didn't find it quite as bleak. Mm-hmm. And as I'm watching this, it's like there's no reprieve from the like constant barrage of human rights violations that are being subjected upon these poor prisoners.
These poor kids.
I know, and it's
for $15.
I know, which I did.
For $15.
Tyler, get on that mic. Tyler, get on that mic.
For $15, you can be a prisoner for 2 weeks.
There you go. I found an inflation calculator. It's $115.
Damn,
$115.
Still though.
Flip that mic around.
Tyler, are you talking the back of the mic?
Oh. Yes, I am.
There you go. There you go. That's the old Noe switcheroo.
Sorry about that.
Right.
But it's like, okay, so all right, with inflation, $115 to be mentally tortured. I remember. Actually, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Stop it.
So as the movie goes on, you're like, when is it going to stop? When is there going to be, like, at one point one of the prisoners gets removed and he's replaced with, Thomas Mann, I believe, is the actor. And I'm like, they're going to have to do this one by one for all of these poor young men that are being subjected to this, because at some point they're going to snap. And what happens after the psychological breakdown of these people and lawsuits flying around or whatever. And then I realized, oh wait, this is 1971. The word lawsuit is basically not even in the public vernacular at this point. So I'm of two minds about the actual experiment. Did we learn something from this? 100%.
Yeah.
I'm not in the psychology world, so I can't say for certainty what it was, but I've heard this experiment referenced a number of times. There are kind of keystone base plate studies that show something about the human psyche and psychological torture or whatever it might be, or even just like the normalities of the human mind. Like there's the the one about giving the little kid one marshmallow and say, if you wait 10 minutes and I'm going to leave the room and I'm wait 10 minutes, and if you don't eat the one marshmallow, then you'll get 3 marshmallows when I get back. And then you study those children and you watch where they go in life, and you can see from these decisions this child makes on their impulse control or long-term gratification control could potentially predict where they're going to come and be in life, some 15, 20 years later. It's like, that's fascinating. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Or the concept of the one study where they have the person in the room who's supposedly controlling a electric shock to someone in the other room.
Oh, yeah.
There's that one, and all the variations of that study are very interesting. If the person who's giving the command is in plain clothes, they're less likely to follow them. But if they're wearing a lab coat and they have a clipboard, they're like 95% more likely to follow the commands to harm and or up to kill the person in the other room with this device. And it's like, all that stuff's fascinating. The Stanford prison experiment or the Zimbardo prison experiment is one of those that has long-lasting takeaways from the psychiatry community. So I'm like, part of me is like, is it all right to do all this stuff? I mean, there was extensive studies and interviews some years later that everybody basically said, I don't have any long-term lasting psychological effects from this. Trust me.
Bullshit.
I know. Trust me. I'll
Bullshit artist.
but so maybe it was good for that regard, but at the same time, when you go sign up for an experiment, it's like the people who sign up to be part of like chemical experiments. Like this is a new drug. What's it do? Oh, it's a hair growth thing. Okay, what are the potential side effects? Here's 100,000 potential side effects. Right. Here's $100. Do you want to take the drug or not? And they say, yes, I do. And it's like, that's a decision that person makes with their own body to have autonomy to do this thing.
Yeah.
But then there comes the ethical like conundrum. Like, okay, so we're giving these people chump change to do something that could potentially ruin them for their entire life.
Sure. Take student loans, for example. I mean, you're making somebody sign up for a potential lifetime of debt to ruin their entire financial fucking life over a decision that they're making when they're 17 years old sometimes. It's like, where do you draw the line?
Well, I mean, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. Let me get this.
Go ahead.
And that's fine. I don't mind. But so that's kind of where to me, the whole thing is a very complex, like, should I be enjoying this? Should I be finding this fascinating, or should I find this to be like the Billy Crudup character is the scum of the earth?
Right.
Because the way that Hollywood portrays this, or this dramatized version of the experiment portrays it, he's stoking the fires. He's like, he's making it worse. He's psychologically torturing the children, not because it's part of the experiment, because he's just trying to make it that much more intense. So was that really how it was? Probably not. The truth probably lies somewhere in the middle.
Like, was there actually an escape attempt made by the prisoners?
There was.
Okay.
Yes, there was. And that chaplain was real. The priest that comes in. Yeah. I have a lot of information about that later. So basically, long story short on this whole thing, I thought the acting was very, very good for a young cast of young actors. They did a really good job of emoting the anguish. I thought Ezra Miller's shrieks and mental breakdown were haunting. I think
Sure.
the other character, I can't remember who it was, who was locked in the room, and when everybody starts saying,
Oh, it was the kid who was in the Lords of Dogtown.
yeah, prisoners,
The one who had
prisoners 819, when he's locked in the room and they all start chanting that.
Prisoner 819 did a bad thing.
It's like that whole thing was haunting for me too, and his breakdown was very good. So I thought it was great. I liked it better the second time, but I found it way more bleak on like a humanistic level, on like a comment on society and how shitty human beings could be to each other, and then immediately shrug it off and go, "Well, that's that. We want to shake hands and move on with our life,
and we're done."
Yeah, now we're done. So, but yeah. Anyways, so that's my take on it. You want to hear Jack's?
Let's hear Jack's. What does Jack have to say? Get him on the line. Get him on the horn.
Okay. Heather says the Noe switcheroo is added to my list of things that sound dirty but are not.
Wait, what?
That's when you're talking into the back of the mic. That's the Noe switcheroo.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, so Jack basically said that he picked this because he thought it would lead to a very interesting conversation about societal roles and power dynamics, toxic masculinity, and other things. He says, as a guard, he would be the one guy from 13 Reasons Why with a blonde mustache. He doesn't push anyone. He isn't a jerk, but he's also barely interferes. I think it's a confusing role, as what they're supposed to really be doing is kind of unclear by design, and you're not sure what you can do and you can't do. As a guard, you have the power over the prisoners, but you also know it's a simulation, and you also know that the money's on the table. So I think the guards who leaned into it were doing it kind of out of an expectation, like they felt like they were supposed to in a way. He says, I also think that it suits a very particular kind of person and somebody who might have lacked power in other areas of life. When it comes to college students, that's going to be a lot of them, but naturally fall into an overcompensating once given that power. I think it's an uncomfortable truth that some people would find out about themselves and the only divide is random chance of being chosen. The power is all an illusion in life. He says, I definitely wouldn't be abusive, but I know that almost for a fact, but I'm not proud that I also don't think I would play the hero and try to stop anything. Then again, I also think that people that would be abusive also think that they wouldn't beforehand. So you really only know once you're in that position. Furthermore, as a prisoner, he says, I'm pulling the sicky card like some of the others. I know that they were accused of being pussies and whatever, but I don't know. I have an inherent intolerance to being told what to do. I hate it, just like Tyler. Hates
Did
authority.
he say that?
No, he didn't. That's my commentary.
Yeah, he's adding it in.
Yeah. But he said, playing the role of the bitch just wouldn't sit right with me. I'm not saying I'd revolt as hard as Ezra Miller's character, but I don't think that I could do it. I just don't think I can make it through it. It's like when I watch Full Metal Jacket and the angry drill sergeant is verbally abusing them. I see that and I'm like, nah, fam. I don't respect the approach of being a big, scary asshole to get results. In Whiplash, I don't think J.K. Simmons' approach is justified, even if he does get the results. So that's kind of Jack's take on it all. So
it's a good take. It's a good take.
And I think it is going to drive a lot of interesting discussion. So my question is for you fellas.
Yeah.
What kind of guard would you be, Joseph?
What kind of guard? If we were chosen to be
guards? If you were
guards?
in the position, yeah.
I don't know, because I'm not good at like staying in character when like
Really?
like it's like playing Dungeons and Dragons. Like I liked doing like playing a character and like doing the role play aspect. But it's hard for me to stay in character. Like it's hard for me to not make jokes about
I
like
see.
something the character would do versus something I would do.
Yeah.
And I like inject my own personality obviously into it, but it just like, so like playing a guard, I feel like in the beginning I would definitely be laughing and like trying to be authoritative, but I would just feel,
I mean, that's what they were doing in the beginning.
I would just feel like I'm like out of place. And then I would end up being like the guy who's like, I kind of like, I guess what Jack said about the guy with the fake mustache.
Yeah.
And just be like, I mean, I would like to think that I would interfere because I was getting so frustrated with how they're being treated. And, but I don't know if I actually would. If I put in the situation, I don't know if I would. I'd like to think that I would, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think you really don't until you're in that situation.
Yeah.
And that's also kind of the big problem behind police brutality is that, one bad apple spoils the bunch. But the problem with the police brutality thing is, maybe you have 2 abusive police officers in the ranks of 100 on your police force.
Yeah.
But the fact that everybody else is complicit to that and decides not to do something about it makes them all bad apples.
Yeah. And especially, when you're outnumbered.
Yeah.
And if you don't say anything, you're neutral in the situation.
You would think in your heart you could tell yourself you're neutral, but the reality is you're just as complicit.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm sorry, what was it? What was the question again?
What kind of guard
would you be? So before you, Tyler, before you answer that, go to the commentary page, Joseph.
Okay.
On the first day, I said, this is not going to work. I mean, the guards felt awkward giving orders, and they'd say, okay, line up, repeat your numbers, and the prisoners start giggling.
Hey, I don't want anybody laughing. 3, 2, 1.
And then a very interesting thing happened. Dave Eshelman, who the prisoner's named John Wayne, like he's a Wild West cowboy, he begins to be more extreme.
I decided that I would become the worst, most intimidating, cruel prison guard that I could possibly be.
I want to see in the future that you do work when you're told. Thanks. Say it again. Thank you, sir. Say bless you, correction officer.
I was sort of fascinated myself that people were believing the act, and I was trying to see how far I could take it before somebody would say, okay, that's enough, stop.
We did have to do things like push-ups. We would have to sing things. At the beginning, we protested some of the actions. We did things to irritate the guards.
So the guards' authority was challenged right off the bat. And the guards had to decide how they were going to handle that, and they had to decide it without our input. I mean, again, this was not a Milgram study in which we were standing over them telling them what to do. And they began to see the prisoners' behavior as...
See, I think that's the difference between the dramatized version. They're not interfering.
Ramp up the general harassment. Just sort of crank it up a bit. Nobody was telling me I shouldn't be doing this. The professor is the authority here. He's the prison warden. He's not stopping me.
This is unbelievable. They took our clothes. Hands off the door.
There was the first evening a kind of rebellion that took place.
The prisoners rebelled. They barricaded themselves in their cells and said, we refuse to come out. They took off their numbers. They didn't want to be de-individuated. They started cursing the guards to their face. And the key turning point was the guards began to think of them as dangerous prisoners.
Exactly what you said about them not taking it seriously. That's what happened at the beginning of the thing.
Yeah.
Everyone's giving these fake orders and then giggling about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think probably the fact that they're in person, everybody's in character, everybody's wearing a uniform. There's a physical set and all that probably helps you stay in character. So,
I mean it's just role playing.
If you just get in the mindset of you're just committing to the bit, and that's what that guy did. So Tyler,
what kind of guard would you be?
Oh, I would have definitely been the John Wayne one.
You definitely think, or you hope that you think that you would do that?
I hope. I wouldn't say hope, but that would happen. Like if I was put in the guard position. I would be the leader of the...
You'd be the abusive...
Sociopathic... I would be the sociopathic guard because I would lean into it. I would just be like, all right, you know what? He wants a fucking prison. You're getting a prison right now.
Interesting.
And I would strike those people too. They said...
Of course.
They said, you can't touch those prisoners. No, that ends here and that ends now.
When Jack mentioned at the very beginning when I read his take on this, he says trying to find people that feel like they may have less power in their own lives and want to play out like a power trip in this scenario. Yeah. Do you feel that's why you would do that, Tyler, or is this just a bit?
That's an interesting thought. I mean, I suppose so. I mean, due to the current nature of our society in which I'm placed in, I mean. I'm a delivery driver, I'm not some corporate-y muckety muck or anyone important. I just deliver packages. So I think, and I thought about this too, Pete. I was thinking to myself, given that power of authority, of course, like I would like become like a maniac in there. Like I'm self-aware enough with myself to know that that would happen. Am I proud of that? Like, do I want that? Of course not.
I have this capacity to be abusive.
I
mean, that's what war tells us, is that we're all capable of killing.
Yeah.
But well, so like what I'm saying is like I recognize that given that situation, I would definitely be like this sociopathic maniac. Like,
and you thank God every day for not giving you that power. That's what you're saying.
God knew that you would be too strong if you had
I don't think
so many vices.
I don't think God damn it. I don't think
and tummy issues.
I don't think God is thanking me. I think everyone surrounding me is like, thank God, he is not in a position of authority.
You and everybody else is thanking God.
We're secretly intimidated by you.
we need to put him in a place of subduedness. So if he had ever,
if on the other hand, the flip side of that is a huge portion of the submissive dominatrix sort of like indie underground society or whatever. The submissives a lot of times are high-powered executives that are so used to being the strong authority figure in their daily lives that they want to be able to disconnect from that and basically get the shit kicked out of them a little bit. So we always want what we can't have. Maybe there's some truth to that.
Oh yeah, I think so. But I mean, like, my question is, Joseph and Pete, would you choose to be a prisoner or a guard?
You don't get to choose. So it's a moot point.
No. In the interview process, they ask you, like, would you want to be a prisoner or would you want to be a guard? Why or why not?
Oh yeah, they do, and then they don't honor that.
No, they don't. They just it's on a coin toss.
I'd probably prefer to be the prisoner, to be honest. I wouldn't have to make it. Because in this context, you don't
get any privilege.
Well, I wouldn't assume that it would go this far. You know, it would just be a small study. That's number one. Number two, I don't have to make any decisions. I make enough decisions in my daily life. I'd rather just flip my brain off and just be done with it for 6 days or whatever.
Less responsibility.
Yeah, less responsibility.
You're going with your metaphor with or
that's right, absolutely. Yeah. And number it's not a metaphor. And number three, what was the other thing I was going to say? I lost it. I just completely lost it.
Well, sometimes like people are like in The Office, so eloquently and humorously illustrated. Like prison sounds like way better than this office because like
does it really?
We get outside time and we get 3 meals a day. We just wake up, eat, go outside, eat dinner, go to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know. I remember what my third thing was. Is that I always wondered how well I would do in like one of those resorts or like the kind of getaway things where you don't speak for 3 days straight or a week straight or something like that.
Those exist?
Yeah. It's like a meditation.
I've never heard of that
it's like
before.
a meditation thing, and you're supposed to reconnect your mind to nature or some shit. You know, I think about those or the sensory deprivation places where you're in, like, they talk about how isolating and insanity inducing like the hole is, the solitary confinement. I always in my head I'm always thinking, is it really like that? Could I push through a day of solitary confinement? Could I do 3 days? Would I come out a different person? So I think in my mind, being a prisoner in that would be able to check a box I'll never be able to do in real life.
Yeah. I just don't think I would be able to pass as a guard.
I think you could absolutely be a guard.
I don't think
you could.
I don't think I'm in.
Yes, you could, Joseph. Yes, you could.
I don't think I could keep the bit up.
Tyler, Joseph just saunters in.
Tyler was a prisoner, maybe I could.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say, if I was the prisoner and you were the guard, you would point me out immediately.
No, I would feel so bad for Tyler.
Let's go, string bean.
I would just leave him alone. Yeah. I'd say, all right, that guy's already had life kick the shit out of him. Let's
get in the hole. I didn't do anything. I don't care. Get in there.
Yes, sir, Mr. Correctional Officer, sir.
Take your pants off.
Done and done.
Put this dress on.
A couple comments in the chat.
God damn it.
Heather's talking about the dynamics of the actual study itself, and she says, if you want another view of these dynamics and the kind of societal experiment, there are lots of areas that break down this further. Not societal, it's more privilege of young white men. Look up Lord of the Flies and how it's a study of just that and how that might shake out in other cultures. For example, you've taken you give X, and if you hold on to it, you will get more, but no one else would thing to different cultures. And folks shared regardless because they operate as a society. So like in America, the findings would be different of that like marshmallow study than it would be in other countries because they're used to sharing with each other. And I think that's all, you're right, Heather. A huge component of all that is our society. And it would be a very different experience picking people from different walks of life than young, affluent young men at this like fancy college or whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's what I found interesting about this about the subject matter as well is because you hear Stanford prison experiment, but like you don't think of the people who are involved in it. They're coming from like rich executive families and stuff like that. So
children of privilege.
Just affluent children of privilege. And so what makes this movie effective is that you forget that aspect. Like you forget that they are from a life of privilege, because typically, at least like I think a majority of people, like they couldn't really care about like rich kids. Like if you're not in the circle, like it's kind of just like, yeah, no, fuck you. You're rich. You're fine. Sure. Like I'm struggling and you're not.
It's like our conversation about poor versus famous person poor.
Exactly. And so so for myself, I think what was so effective about this movie was it made you forget that it really humanized these rich kids because they were very arrogant.
Well, they definitely got an experience that they would never get otherwise.
And that's what the priest was saying too. Or chaplain priest.
Yeah, same thing. Chaplain is just the priest in prison.
Oh, okay. So like
prison priest.
Yeah. When the priest comes in,
it sounds like a Tarantino movie or a fake movie in a Tarantino movie.
When the priest comes in to give them counsel, or just like a therapy sort of session, when he walks out and he tells the doctor, says, yeah, these kids need this. Like they need to know like what it's like to have everything stripped away from them. So in a way, like, and that's like the conundrum that I was having philosophically
speaking. It's not the worst message either, too, because
not the best way to go about it, though.
I agree with that. The methodology, delivery of that message is the delivery was. But like, say for example, why do people do Tough Mudders? It's like I want to prove to myself, I'm going to put myself through this extreme misery and push my physical self further than I thought I ever could. And the first time I did one of those, I was shocked that I was able to do it. It really blew my mind open of what my physical body was capable of. And also that I actually had fun getting the shit kicked out of me through this whole thing. And when I came out on the other end, it was like, I'm very glad for that experience. I want to do it again. I don't think that these guys would want to do it again.
Put me back in, coach.
Yeah.
Put me back in, coach.
I wonder if they said, you have a chance to go back in, but we're going to flip a coin again. Next time you might be the guard.
Yeah.
If the prisoners would go, oh, hell yeah. Are the guards now going to be the prisoners? Because I want to get revenge on John Wayne.
I don't think that would go well.
No. It'd be murders.
So like to cap off my point, I think that the philosophy of, okay, we need to teach these rich white kids like what it's really like. And I think the character who played Lafayette in True Blood, for the life of me,
that's fine. Yeah, we know who he is.
But when he did some really hard time in like one of the toughest prisons in the continental U.S. and when he like mimicked like on the was it the parole
board?
Parole board. Yeah. And he just like walked out. He's like, I just became everything I hated.
Well, he also did say to them that those kids, kind of the same idea. Those kids could use. They don't know shit. They're just wimpy little kids that need their nose wiped or whatever,
Yeah.
But here's the flip side of it, though, is like what this movie did for myself is that I humanized with them, regardless of their status in our society.
I think that means that you're probably really a stable person, because the message wasn't "fuck these kids, they deserve this." That was just two small characters within the movie's take on it. That's like justifying that they can deal with this. It's not the end of the world for them. They're fine. They'll be okay.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, so I guess what my point is, like, I get the reasoning behind it. However, at the end of the day, this was just supposed to be an experiment on like psychological behavior, and then it became this weird masochistic sort of
Billy Crudup's character was pushing it to the
scenario.
Point. He was almost taking joy in the suffering.
Yeah, I mean, there was like all these kind of abuses that were happening that were against the contract. People kept telling him, his team around him kept saying, like, yeah, you shouldn't do this. Like, this is like, they're like talking about getting lawyers and stuff. He's like George Lucas. He's like, no, that stays in.
We're not stopping. I'm gonna say, as far as a guard, I would probably. I like to think that I wouldn't be an abusive guard, but I probably would be.
No, you would be cold and calculated.
I would be.
Know you would. I know you would.
But I don't think that I would be to the point of cruelty. It would be almost like to teach a message to people or whatever. Yeah. But all that being said, Joseph, can you go to the commentary for clip 2?
Oh yeah, we have more clips.
Yes.
Okay.
I had really thought that I was incapable of this kind of behavior.
This is a real prisoner guard.
I was
after the fact.
Surprised, I was dismayed to find out that I could really be that I could act in a manner so absolutely unaccustomed to anything I would even really dream of doing. And while I was doing it, I didn't feel any regret. I didn't feel any guilt. It was only afterwards, when I began to reflect on what I had done, that this behavior began to dawn on me, and I realized that this was a part of me I hadn't really noticed before.
So that's another, like, just a kid who was hired to do this thing, and he became the guard, and he became a version of himself he never thought he could be. So I think that's, for me, the biggest takeaway is that we are all capable of terrible things when put in that situation. Doesn't make it right, but there needs to be, my biggest takeaway really, though, is if you're giving people this absolute power, more or less, there needs to be a checks and balances, like a third-party mediator that's responsible to basically pull the e-brake when it gets too much. That's why body cam footage exists for police officers. Right. There's accountability there now, where people are able to go and say, yeah, look what this guy did. That's actually murder. That's not you conducting your job.
I think the inherent problem I have with like these interviews that we've been hearing is like just like the pure ignorance of oneself. Like for myself, when you asked that question, Pete, what guard you would be, and I was like, I would be Christopher Archer's character. Like I would be.
But you think that now, knowing yourself on the surface level, when you get in there, you may not have the chutzpah to be able to do those things. You may.
No, I know I would. I would.
Again, we don't know. None of us know until we get into that situation.
Yeah. And we're not ever going to get in that situation.
So we don't know.
Yeah.
Tyler, okay, fine. I guess we don't know.
You think that if you saw a clone of yourself, you would murder them instantly. I don't think
that would be funny if like I saw a clone of myself. It was just some random guy who looked like me.
And then you realize I don't have the balls to do it, and you kill yourself instead. And then the guy goes, "Wow,
no. I would
that guy that looks a lot like me just killed himself."
I would kill a clone I would kill a clone of myself, and I would also kill a time traveler of myself as well.
I don't think you could step on a mouse if you had the opportunity.
Oh, yes, I could.
No.
Yes,
you're too kind. Oh, yeah. You're too kind-hearted.
No, I can switch that off.
If you were driving down the highway and you saw a deer that was hit, and it was writhing in pain on the side of the road, would you pull over and kill it?
Fuck no.
See,
Wait, kill it?
Yeah,
Why would I kill it? It's going to die anyway.
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't
put it out of its misery? Oh, God, no. No, I don't give a shit. I'm trying to get somewhere.
Prisoner 819 did a bad thing.
Now it's all coming together.
Yeah, that's right.
I guess so.
So that's.
I thought.
Well,
sorry.
There's a clip 4 here.
3?
No, 4.
All right, not 3.
This is transition, but don't click play yet. This is this is the actual scene of the prisoner 819, and this is the real life shrieking of the man. I think this is the one. Go ahead and hit the
trigger warning.
Yeah, let me see if this is the right one.
Prisoner 819 did a bad thing. Prisoner 819 did a bad thing. Prisoner 819 did a bad thing. Prisoner 819 did a bad thing.
As soon as I realized that 819 could hear this, I rushed to the room where I had left him. And what I found was a boy crying hysterically, while in the background his fellow prisoners were chanting and yelling that he is a bad prisoner and that they were being punished because of him.
Okay, so that wasn't the shrieking one, but that's the real
clip
life.
3.
Yeah, that's. I don't think that's the same guy. I think it might be, but it's watching them stand there and chant that.
Yeah,
it's like a fucking cult.
Well, yeah, it is. Like,
yeah, what did the prisoner do? I can't remember.
He was.
He refused to eat his like sausage links from breakfast.
I don't know. I don't think that was him. I think it was, but it was some very small contrivance. It wasn't anything of note. So go ahead and play clip number 3, and this is a little bit longer, but this does have the actual. This is the one where Ezra Miller's character is having the breakdown. I don't know if it was him or the other one, prisoner 819, but they're basically saying, I don't know what's wrong with me, but something's wrong with me. I got to get out of here, man. I'm freaking out. I need a doctor.
It's 612.
Oh yeah.
So this is the real life one here.
Right now in this jail, I'm the one of the staff psychologists. This I've been doing for 14 years.
Doug Corgi.
Practically.
And now he went from that to actually working as a prison psychologist.
Bartle's experiment.
Oh.
Inside. I feel really fucked up inside. You don't know. I gotta go. To a doctor, anything.
Is him listening to himself.
Fucked up. I don't know how to explain it. I'm all fucked up inside. Out! Out now! God damn it. Fucked up. You don't know.
As an experience, it was unique. I've never screamed so loud in my life. I've never been so upset in my life. And it was an experience of being out of control, both of the situation and of my feelings. And maybe I always have had difficulty with the notion of losing control. I wanted to understand myself, so I went into psychology, so that the unconscious wouldn't so control me, as it did that whole experiment, that whole situation. I was confused. I didn't know what my role was. And I figured, I'm thinking now, I'll go into psychology, I'll learn what makes a person tick. I won't be so afraid of the unconscious. The Stanford prison was a very benign prison situation, and it still caused guards to become sadistic, prisoners to become hysterical, other prisoners to break out in hives. I mean, here you had a benign situation. It didn't work. It promoted everything a normal prison promotes. The guard role promotes sadism. The prisoner role promotes a feeling of confusion and shame. Anybody can be a guard. It's harder to be on guard against the impulse to be sadistic, because it's a quiet rage, a malevolence that you can dam up, but there's nowhere for it to go. It comes out sideways, sadistically or whatever. Whereas I think you do have more control, maybe because this is my experience. Everybody needn't be a prisoner. I think if I went through the experience now, I wouldn't have been nearly so confused. I would have been able to do a lot of things differently and not have felt so unsure of what to do. I would have known much more about my options.
Really, really interesting. Yeah, to think about, watch this guy years later.
And he set him on a path.
Yeah, I really did.
Of course, there's like a hindsight towards what I mean. The way I see it, and because after I watched this movie, yeah, the movie was like, yeah, it was okay, but it was a really great thought experiment or like a thought exercise to think about like what I would do in that situation, whether it be a guard or be a prisoner. I wouldn't be like Ezra Miller and try to rebel or anything like that. I would be more like the other character, the mustachioed character, who
the mustachio character is the guard, right?
No. The guy who gets hogtied.
He just like it was like day 1 or day 2. He just wanted to do his time, make his $15 and get out of there.
Oh, the guy that wouldn't cuss.
No,
not that guy. The one who had he had
dark hair.
They all have mustaches, actually.
I guess so.
The guy that plays 70s. Young Neil in Scott Pilgrim.
There's the
guy who is at the main parole scene where he's getting accosted by Lafayette.
And like I would Lafayette. Okay, we'll just keep
so that's your take, Joseph. What kind of prisoner would you be?
Yeah, I was going to actually ask that since you asked what kind of guard would we be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I would be as like rebellious as 8612.
Yeah.
Based on my own feelings and watching the movie, I would be like, no, fuck you. I'm not going to do that. Because part of me is like, you're taking this too seriously. Like,
yeah, for sure.
And that part would come out as opposed to, again, failing to role play as a prisoner. You know, my own feelings would be interjected. You know,
I think at the like I said, I would have been obedient. I would have gone along. I'm sorry.
Is that you already gave your answer?
No, I'm pontificating on.
What about my answer?
No, screw you.
I get nothing. I'm saying right here, I would be the most obedient prisoner.
Yeah,
yes, sir. No, sir.
I would chuck and jive.
Yes, Mr. Police Correctional Officer.
You would be you'd be red and Shawshank.
I did really like the scene where that guy wouldn't curse, he wouldn't swear.
Yeah, I feel like that would be my role.
I feel like he handled that whole thing well.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no, sir. If you want, sir. I am if you want me to be. I'm whatever you want me to be.
Yeah.
You say so, I am.
Yeah, because in all reality, when you're in that situation and you have this authority over you and you have literally no control, you're in a caged environment, what can you do besides lean into your role and beg for mercy in that, essentially? It's like you get pulled over by a police officer. Do you go, man, fuck you? Yeah, I was speeding, but everybody else was speeding. You say, yes, sir. I understand, officer. You know, here's my driver's license. Yep. You know, I apologize. You're right. No excuse. And you just beg for mercy because you're already caught.
Yeah.
Just hope for the best. And it's almost like a dog biting the hand that feeds you. This guy has the ability to make your life worse or better. And just be that version. You know, the same thing applies to, you know, in a job scenario. If you're being asked to do something and you're like, I don't really like that, but whatever. You just, yes, sir, gonna do it. Gonna do the best of my abilities, and hopefully that'll give me some, you know, favor later on down the road or whatever. Instead of just being like, man, fuck that. That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out of here. It's like, that's a choice when it's a job, but when you're in this prison scenario, you don't have that out. You just have to lean into it and just get the best thing you can out of it.
I imagine, there is only so much you can handle, though. Like, sometimes you're put in a situation where it's like, I can't.
The physical part of it,
I can't abide by whatever, even in a work situation.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, you just walk. At that point, you're like, this is a bridge too far for me. I quit.
Yeah.
But when you're a prisoner, it's slightly different. And I think that the line for me would be like, number one, the part where he's like making them, you know, the simulated sex.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was like at like the 20 minute. That was like
no. I want you to see you fuck.
Yeah. It's at the very, very having sex now. Okay. It's like the very end of the movie, and you're like, that's the part where Billy Crudup's character just
the complicit prisoners are like,
come on, it's not that bad.
But I couldn't do that, and I couldn't do when there's a rebellion and they're like, sell out your teammates or your cellmates or whatever. I'm like, I can't do that. And the physical aspect of it's like, you can only do so many push-ups before it turns into, I just can't do what you're asking me to do. I'm not going to assault another person. I'm not going to go against my beliefs. But if you want me to sing a stupid song and learn how to recite my number on my badge fast, whatever, it's like, okay, why fight it? Just do the damn thing so you can get out faster or whatever.
So for me as a prisoner, if I was a prisoner, like at first I would go along with it. I'd be obedient. I'd do everything that they told me to. Because I would have the understanding that's an experiment, right?
Yeah.
But then once I knew like there was going to be like an abuse of power, like
that's when you'd start pushing back.
I wouldn't push back, but I would let them push a little bit. But then once I realized that there was no intervention because I knew like the contract, I would definitely take that nightstick away from that guard and
you'd leave a revolution.
I would probably beat someone. Like
but then you would get beat.
Oh no, I could handle my own. I can take a hit. I can take a hit. Joseph, hit me as hard as you can right now. Oh, wait, you can't.
We should have an arm wrestling contest, the three of us.
Arm wrestling?
Yeah.
I would lose.
I don't know. You carry packages all day.
No,
Joseph's the ringer on this. He's a rock climber.
Yeah, he's a rock climber. He has that grip. He has that grip strength.
Yeah.
I don't know if grip has much.
He's that what's that new meme? The
Hawk 2.
Oh yeah, Hawk 2.
How does that relate to this?
I don't know. I don't know. I just wanted
cutting edge news.
I just wanted to put something popular in the show.
I'm just trying
put us in the algorithm.
Just trying to be topical. A couple things about the actual experiment. They actually interviewed a number of other people for it. I think there were like 76 total people they interviewed.
Mm-hmm. And there's 76 people involved in this?
No, they interviewed to be part of it. And they removed people that had psychological issues, issues with violence, and also health issues that might cause them to have like a reaction.
I was so pissed off they wouldn't give him his glasses.
Yes, what the fuck?
That fucking pissed
I know you would.
Piss me off.
Stupid.
Like, I need them to see.
But that's the point, though. That's the point.
Why did they take away his glasses?
There's no. I mean, I get you're supposed to take away all their belongings when they go in or whatever, but. Like, I mean, the glasses? Give them the glasses.
I
back.
want to go back to a point you made, Tyler. You said the costume design was bad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What
costume? The wigs. The wigs.
Oh, the wigs.
Yeah.
You know what? Surprisingly,
that was egregious. It was egregious.
Wigs usually, bad wigs usually irritate me. And it didn't bother me.
I mean, a lot of 70s hair just looks like
that. A lot of feathering.
I guess so.
Do you have
just like
Veeks?
it felt so.
It's like Malignant.
So fake. Malignant. Yeah, that's a good one.
So here's the contributions that stemmed in the real world from this experiment. So contributions to society. Most institutions such as universities, hospitals, and government agencies now require a review of research plans by a panel before basically exacting the experiment. These boards review whether the potential benefits of the research are justifiable in light of the possible risks of physical or psychological harm. These boards may request researchers make changes to the study's design or procedure, or in extreme cases, deny the approval of a study altogether. Mm-hmm. So this whole thing led to a formal recognition of ethical guidelines by the American Psychological Association. Studies
did something.
Yeah, studies must now undergo an extensive review by institutional review boards or ethics committees before they're implemented, both in the United States and the United Kingdom.
Was there any legal things that happened after this, like with Zimbardo?
Nope.
Was that his name?
Yep, Zimbardo. Yeah. Strength of the study also is that it altered the way that U.S. prisons are run. For example, juveniles accused of federal crimes are no longer housed before trial with adult prisoners due to the risk of violence against them. However, in the 25 years since this study, the U.S. prison policy has transformed in ways to counter the SPE insights. So they actually made some changes because of it, and now the prison system is trying to go backwards and get them back, basically.
Oh, we need another Stanford prison experiment.
Yes.
Oh God, that's terrible.
Can you imagine if this happened at like Sac State? The Sac State Sacramento prison experiment.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So there's like a list. There's probably like 30 or 40 changes to prison policy and the prison culture that stemmed from basically the results of this.
Yeah,
so pretty interesting.
So was it worth it though? Like,
was the results of the experiment just to justify what
the ends justify the means?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think what it because I was thinking about this after I watched the movie. I was thinking about I was thinking about myself in the guard position. Actually, no, I was thinking,
fantasizing and jerking off.
I know. I was just like, pants were off.
That power. Oh man.
But I was thinking to myself,
Tyler, put that away.
I was thinking to myself, did the ends justify the means? Because I knew that this experiment would lead to like a revisionist sort of, or not revisionist, reform of like the justice system. And so I thought to myself, is it worth to like mentally traumatize a bunch of these young adults for the greater good, or should we have had a little bit more meditation on how can we rehabilitate people who are criminals? I mean, like people in like other countries have done it successfully, but somehow the U.S. can't get it right.
But this has nothing to do with rehabilitation.
Yeah, it kind of does. I mean, to me, it felt like that. It felt that it was about how do humans interact in the current justice system that is currently implemented right now, which is why he had Lafayette be a consult.
Well, I liked how he said, I'm just here to give you legitimacy to your study. Right. It's almost like, hey, I got a real dude who was actually really in prison, so it's all right. Yeah. We're doing it right.
He's like, I have a black friend.
That's going on the board.
There's not a lot of trivia for this movie. The $15 a day all the students were offered, it would equal $94 a day in 2016 if changed for inflation. That's $1,317 in 2 weeks. In the real life experiment, they were paid $20 a day.
Oh, okay.
Which is $125 in 2016 dollars, or $1,756 in 2 weeks. So it was, I guess, equated to a good chunk of change.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's a good fact.
During the real experiment, the prisoners were arrested at their homes and charged with armed robbery. The local Palo Alto Police Department assisted Zimbardo with the arrest and conducted full booking procedures on the prisoners, which included fingerprinting and taking mug shots. The prisoners were then transported to the mock prison from the police station when they were strip searched and given their new identities. The name of the book is called The Lucifer Effect.
Oh, Jesus.
Which seems, I don't know why that seems kind of, I don't know, seems extreme.
Yeah, it does.
This was funded by the U.S. Office of Naval Research.
Really?
And was of interest to both U.S. Navy and Marine Corps as an investigation into the causes of conflict between military guards and prisoners.
Interesting.
There's a German movie called The Experiment, which was released in 2001, and the American remake, The Experiment in 2010, with Adrian Brody and Forrest Whitaker, are all also based on the Stanford Prison Experiment, but much looser adaptation. And then there's not a whole lot else about this, but I was kind of interested to see if they made a version of this movie that, I guess it kind of would be based on that, because this actually happened in real life, but they fictionalized it and made it more of a thriller. There's more of like a payoff between the guards being so abusive and the prisoners having a rebellion of some sort. And then I think in the chat, someone said, I think it was Heather who mentioned, like, it'd be different if it was women. If it was all females. I feel like it would have been.
Absolutely.
It would have been. I feel like it would be more. I don't know. I feel like it'd be more like brutal.
Really? You think so?
I don't know. I just feel like it would be.
Oh, that bitch.
Yeah,
I got her number.
I don't know why. I just feel like it would be It'd be interesting to see that.
Yeah.
If they did that, I feel like it would be a little exploitative. I mean, it is already exploitative to some degree.
I mean, but that's the thing, though. I mean, there's a part in the movie where one of his assistants said, "You've become a part of the experiment now."
Yeah, like we are a part of this.
Yeah, like this hasn't become you observing. Like you're an active part in this. Is this even an experiment anymore, or is this an observation?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what told
I mean,
me.
it feels like it. At some point, you're like, what's the value of this? Where's the value?
Oh, it was Jack who said that. If it would have gone differently for the woman.
And so I think to myself, what was the overall point? Like even in the beginning of the movie, I was struggling to find the point of his experiment.
Well, yeah, there was a scene of him talking to another professor in the hallway where he's basically getting super defensive about his experiment, and the guy's like, "Did
you put a variable?
What's your control variable here?" And he's like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, he thought
my experiment is tight.
He thought
Sorry.
He thought he was being hostile towards him, but I think it's because he felt insecure because deep down he knew what he was doing was wrong, but he wanted to see it through.
Yeah, and then when he has his conversation, which he's also not, he has like his girlfriend is like one of his former students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
great guy.
And then she's like leaving. She's like, this is wrong what you're doing. And then he's like, at the end of her like speech, he's like, are you done?
Yeah.
Like, as if like he wasn't listening the whole time.
That guy's still alive. I just looked him up because I wanted to use this drop.
This guy is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, rest in peace, I guess.
But he's still alive. He's 91 years old, the guy.
Old man.
That's a drop. That's a drop, classmates. I didn't just say that.
Well, it's okay. He's about this piece of shit. This is a guy that designed this experiment to torture students.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like and when I saw the end credits at the movie where they said like none of the people like had long lasting like effects, like I call bullshit on that. There's no
well, except that one guy who became a psychologist.
Yeah.
There is no earthly there's no way. There's absolutely no way based on what
cry yourself to sleep, snowflake.
I think
get over it.
I think they just learned something about themselves.
Yeah.
Of course they learned something about themselves. That doesn't like negate like the trauma they went through. Like I can understand though that because of their generation, they don't want to acknowledge like emotional trauma. So
well, it's like the difference between if you take acid knowingly and you take acid not knowingly. If you didn't know that you were on an acid trip and you started tripping, you would potentially have a freak out. If you took acid and you're expecting it and it starts coming, you still could, but you're a lot less likely to have that experience. Where in this scenario, they don't know how long they're going to be in it. They don't know if they think, well, the second the guy got hit with the baton, they should have pulled the plug. Now when are they ever going to stop this thing? These guys are basically getting raped over there.
Yeah,
simulated.
No, I know all about being drugged. Trust me, it's an experience for sure.
All right.
Why don't you stop talking for a while?
Okay.
You're implicating yourself, Tyler.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying. Like I thought I took ecstasy, but I was drugged with meth.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not good.
Yeah. Terrible.
How was
terrible
it?
time.
How was it?
It was really good for about an hour, and then it was like the worst 5 hours of my life afterward.
Are you mental?
Interesting.
Yes, I am.
All right, let's put a bow on this thing. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay. Grades, Tyler.
I'm still sticking with a B-. Okay. I think the movie was really well acted. I think the writing was really tight. I think the psychologist could have acted a little bit better, but overall this movie was engaging, but I think it was engaging for the reasons of talking about like what we just talked about right now, just because we didn't even talk about like the technical parts of it. Like it's just the thought experiment, the thought exercise of it all is it's really it's just really fun to think about. I'm saying fun loosely.
Fun? Super fun.
Like, it's just more
prison abuse. All right.
I'm having a good time.
And so I think Jack, I'm glad I watched this movie. I think this was a very fun movie. Yeah, it was a very fun movie.
Fun is
I'm using that term very loosely.
Very loosely.
I'm saying in the sense that like I like to think about stuff, and so I think it's fun.
Oh, okay.
And so with something like this, it's really like it like perks me up. And I'm
about to have the hardest boner right now.
And I mean, I think Ezra Miller, I did not like his character.
They.
Who? What?
They. Ezra's a they.
I didn't say.
Yes, you did.
Him.
He said he.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's okay.
Well,
it's a mistake.
I'm sorry.
Just
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I'm sorry.
We don't know them.
I'm looking at you right now, Mr. Miller. I'm so sorry.
Mr. Oh my gosh.
Oh wait, no. Now I'm fucking. I'm done.
What do you say? What would be the neutral Mr. Mrs.?
You'd say
Doctor.
Ezra, I'm sorry I mispronounced your pronouns. However, you were weak in this movie.
Well, good. I'm sure they're listening.
But yeah, it was still B minus. It's still B and minus.
Okay, that's good. All right, Joseph, what do you got? What's your grade?
I'm gonna give this an A minus.
Okay,
an A minus. It was a very solid, engaging, thrilling, thought-provoking, frustrating,
A minus,
tense movie that was well made and well put together, well edited, and mostly well performed, acted, and the subject matter was very interesting, although like very fucked up situation.
Yeah,
but I like kind of movies like this, like a kind of like uncomfortable Lord of the Flies. I mean, in that they're much younger, but just like factions, I guess, or prisoners and guards.
Yeah,
and just you're given this much power, and this is what you do with it, and you're and frustrating because like I just wanted that full on rebellion to happen. I wanted the roles to switch. It'd be so interesting if it did, and then you end up sympathizing with the former guards who are now prisoners.
Oh, I see.
Like
if they at halfway through a point they switched.
Yeah, the rebellion.
No, that's a study I want to watch.
The rebellion succeeded. If like the warden was like planted, like gave them the ability, the prisoners secretly to like unlock all their cells and like told them like now overthrow the guards, like overpower them. There's 9 of you and only 3 of them.
Beat them to death with a bar of soap and a pillowcase.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that would be pretty interesting to see.
You know, it's almost like when as if in Don't Tell a Soul when when the younger brother is antagonizing his younger brother in the hole and pissing on him and stuff like that, and then he goes, "All right, into the hole."
Oh yeah.
Like, what? I wouldn't have done those things if I would.
Yeah. Well, sorry, that's one place for you to go.
All right,
but yeah, A minus.
A minus. I'm gonna go with Joseph as well. I'm an A minus on this. I think that it's close to an A even for me, just because the acting I thought was really well done. The emotions were believable. The characters had their roles and they were believable. Everybody I think was cast really well, and Michael Angarano he's not the type of person I would have thought in that. I didn't know who he was when I watched it the first time. Mm-hmm. Now knowing the kind of comedic roles that he usually plays, and just a little bit more of a demure type of a character that doesn't have the confidence that this guy has, it was like very surprising to see him really settling into that role, and just like the one shot of him kicking the door open to the guards like dressing room and saying, "All right, boys, how about we make this a night to remember?" And you're like, damn, he's coming up. He really is loving this. He's having a blast.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. And then the nuance of Billy Crudup's character, the scientist or whatever, the professor, just he's slipping further into losing himself in the experiment, and thought he was great. Lafayette's character is great. Just really, really solid performances all around, and more bleak than I really hoped for. So I can't imagine I'm going to rewatch this again anytime soon. So
Sure.
This plus with We Need to Talk About Kevin probably contributed to a huge part of Ezra Miller's decline.
Oh yeah, mental state.
Yeah,
these two movies affected their own psychology.
Yeah, that's right.
IRL.
Yeah. So that's it. Now it's time for the Wheel of Destiny. 1 wheel, 8 slots, 3 hosts. This is the Wheel of Destiny. All right, Stanford Prison Experiments off the wheel. Where's my marker here? There it is. Tyler, you actually have a movie to replace.
I do.
Iron Claw.
Off the wheel.
Off the wheel from last week.
Off the wheel. Yep.
Before I put the next Patreon movie on, want to tell us what your replacement's going to be?
Yeah, this is going to be 1983's Suburbia.
Okay.
Directed by Penelope Spheris. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. She's pretty much, she directed The Decline of Western Civilization.
What year is this, Tyler?
1983.
Okay.
She also, I think she concluded her music video work with the Grammy-nominated Bohemian. Yeah, she did the Bohemian Rhapsody video for Wayne's World.
Wayne's World.
Yeah.
Wait,
like
he did the.
Wait, what?
Is she the director of Wayne's World?
No, she wasn't the director of Wayne's World. She just directed the Bohemian Rhapsody segment for Wayne's World.
What? Like them in the car?
Yeah.
Why would she direct that and not the whole movie?
Well, because she was prolific in rock and roll.
Yeah, she directed Wayne's World.
Oh, she directed Wayne's World.
Yes.
Okay. I thought it was just the scene. I misread that.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, she directed Little Rascals in 1994.
Oh, look at that.
And the Beverly Hillbillies.
So I'm picking Suburbia because it's a movie that I've been meaning to revisit because I watched this when I was in my infancy of getting into punk rock. You know, like I had my denim jacket and I only had like a patch or two on it. And
I was a baby punk, only had the 2 patches.
I was a baby punk, but my friend group that I had, they invited me over and we watched Suburbia on VHS and I fell in love with it. And I just recently thought about it a couple of days ago.
Okay.
And I thought that would be an interesting revisit.
Okay, that's fine. We're not picking it this week, so you don't have to go too far into it.
We're not?
Why?
It could be picked.
We could be. But leave that for when the wheel lands on it.
All right, fine. But yeah, Suburbia.
Okay. All right, so the Patreon pick, Jack's pick is off the wheel. The Patreon pick that we're replacing, hopefully, Big Red Dowl's in the chat still, because his pick is Grizzly Man, the Werner Herzog documentary about.
Oh my God, I love that documentary.
Emil Hirsch being eaten by a bear.
What? No,
Into the Wild.
That's different.
No,
it's not the same guy who gets eaten.
What?
No,
No.
Into
the Wild. He dies from berries, huh?
Yes.
Berries, same thing.
Oh wait, so is it Into the Wild?
No,
or
it's
is
Grizzly Man.
It's Grizzly Man.
Grizzly Man.
In my head, it was the same guy dying.
I have a lot of thoughts about that documentary. I hope we can talk about it.
No, we're gonna skip it. Actually,
Eventually,
forever.
we will.
Wait, we're gonna skip it? What?
I'm joking. We're getting there.
It's called a joke.
Yeah, there's 8 slots on the wheel. The 2 Patreon picks: Kentucky Fried Movie from Heather, who's in the chat; Grizzly Man from Dallas; Mute from Pete; Monster Squad from Pete; Suburbia from Tyler; American History X from Tyler, the longest one on the wheel; Dune Part 1 and Part 2 combined for Joseph; and Notting Hill for Joseph. So we're going to give this a spin. This is going to be what we watch next week.
Or not next week.
Oh, yeah. Maybe 2 weeks from now. Dune Part 1 and Part 2. Together.
As one movie.
As one
No,
movie.
that's not it. No, that's not it.
It is it.
It is it. It is.
It is it.
What is it?
Dune Part 1, Part...
Yes, the saga. The one book turned into 2 movies.
Okay.
Okay, so...
Okay.
We have a little housekeeping to do. I'm going to Portugal. I'm leaving in just a couple of days. And I'm going to be releasing these 2 episodes we just recorded. And then we have nothing. I have nothing planned at that point.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to create a stand-in, like throw up an old episode or something. I might, but I got a lot to do in the next couple of days before I leave the country. So I'm going to try, but classmates, you may not have new episode.
The week of the
first week of July.
Yeah.
The first week of July, yeah.
First week of July. So I'll be back around the 4th of July. We'll record that weekend, and that'll be July 6th.
Yeah. You're coming back on July 4th?
3rd, yeah.
3rd? Okay.
Technically, officially.
All right.
So
it's a lot of movie to watch before Saturday.
That's fine, not a problem. I'm going back to back them.
I mean, I assume you're probably going to watch at least a couple movies when you're in Portugal.
I don't know.
Yeah, you gonna have time?
I have no idea. I'm literally just playing. I'm planning on being drunk on a beach for most of the time.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know what they say about Portugal?
What's that?
What do they say about Portugal?
It's full of
Whatever
Portuguese.
happens.
What happens in Portugal?
That's why I love Tyler. I can bring my C game jokes, and he loves them. That's a C. That's a C at best. At best.
I don't know. No, it's great. It's great stuff, man.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I don't know. I thought about it. If they have a theater there, I don't know. It's a very touristy area, so I'm sure there is. But I don't know if I'm going to want to spend any time in the theater.
Yeah.
I'm watching movies on the plane. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe yeah. Because I don't know if my mom's seen Dune 1 or 2. Because she's flying with me, and we're going to sit side by side, and we were planning on watching movies the whole way there.
Oh, perfect.
On my laptop.
Oh, well, there you go.
When I was in New Zealand, I saw Rogue One when it first came out.
Nice.
Yeah. In a very tiny theater.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It was in a Hobbit hole?
No, but it was about the size compared to a modern movie theater over here. It was about the size of a Hobbit hole.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Chris says, Pete, I got you. I'll do a Geiger's full grain review at the barbecue. Please. So that's gonna be our bonus content for next week.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Yeah, because Pete is the host of the whole thing here.
Yeah, it's my the studio is in my house.
The board is here.
The board's here.
Yeah, and it would be like,
well, it's called the Abeyta Studios for a reason.
And he's been the constant throughout, essentially the common denominator for the whole show. And unless I'll take a break for something. It's never just been me and Tyler.
No, unless you guys want to try to piecemeal together an episode.
Huh? I was thinking about that. I was like, what would we do? Would we just do like a movie review, or would we just do a Gavin chatter? Because like just to make it easier.
I think I should go drinking. I think that's what we should do.
Oh yeah,
hey, we should do.
We get a couple of belts at the pond that I frequent. Oh my god,
we should do an episode on your mom's show.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
I would love that.
We do a cross-universe crossover special.
What do? We watch like a rom-com with your mom or something? That's a good episode. That's a good name for a podcast.
Rom-com with your mom.
Rom-com with your mom.
Rom-com with your mom. Oh my god,
sounds like Brandon Snyder's show, movies of the women of my life.
Yeah.
Great shit.
All right. So anyway, next week will not be a normal episode. Maybe there'll be something special, something weird I don't even know about.
Or it might be nothing.
Yeah, it might be nothing. You go shout into the void and give you a little bit of break from our gab and chatter.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be a summer vacation.
We should do an episode of Tyler and Company.
I've been begging for years.
That'd be funny. Do an offshoot but still under the guise of MCFC.
Yeah, on the same podcast stream.
You're just hosting Tyler's show.
I mean, that was the first 2 episodes I produced for you, and you ungrateful. You didn't even episode 3. Where's it been? Episode 3. Where's it?
Hey, look, it's
I already have your intro ready. Oops, not that one. Where is it?
You don't have to look. It's fine.
All right. Anyways.
All right.
Thank you to our cool ass yard duties on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather Sachs in the chat, Ryan, Corbin, and Chris. Chris also in the chat.
Yes,
Geiger.
He says, "I thought it was the Beta's studio."
Oh, yeah.
Boom.
That's my last name, Abeyta.
Yeah.
Like alpha beta.
Betas in quotes.
Yeah. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta. But anyways, yeah, thank you to our cool SGR duties. You guys are help the show, grease the wheels, lube the chute, all that kind of stuff. And thank you to everyone who's watching us on YouTube. If you are a podcast listener and you don't watch the YouTube, it makes no difference at all to you. Just hit on the YouTube channel. We actually get credit for that. It's we're trying to lead more people to the YouTube. And you can see some of the visual gags that we got going on and stuff that we're talking about, get involved in the chat and all that.
Yeah.
I got something fun I want to show the group, the class next 2 weeks from now on next episode. But hey, Dal's in the chat. He says, I'm so stoked for Dune.
Yes.
Yes.
So am I.
I'm sure you are.
You should be too. It's exciting.
It is. It's good. I don't know if you heard. It's a good movie. Two movies.
I've heard.
And Dallas is, now that your pick's on the board, it's in no time we're going to have Dallas's, hopefully no sound drop from Dallas.
Yeah.
Sultry tone of his voice on the show again.
The movie.
Yeah.
Get some beef.
I actually pulled a clip of Dallas when he did the trivia episode for us.
Yeah.
Where he's giving Tyler's score and he just goes, 5.
Yeah.
Tyler's score was 5. We're like 450, 60. Tyler's score 5. I love it. Dallas is a great radio voice.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's wrap this thing up.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for participating in the chat. If you do not do that, go over to the YouTube channel and get involved. Follow us in 2 weeks when we review Dune Part 1 and Part 2. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class and leave us a voicemail, why don't you, at 209-730-6010.
And follow us on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class and on Twitter at Podcast MCFC.
Thank you to Jack for the recommendation. This episode has been really fun. So we'll see you next time.
See ya.
See ya.
Class dismissed.
I gotta get out of here.
The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you.
You're free to go.
See you next week.
See you later.
See you later.
That's a wrap.
Great show.